Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again
with an obligatory hand in the air movement.
It's due to lack of popular demand.
I thought that was our new catchphrase, but you know.
This is your weekly dose of all things gaming from two delusional Ally X players.
Yes, paid Ally X players. That's the one,
paid ASUS reps.
Yeah, sponsored.
I need to let you in on the in-joke before we move on. The hands in the air thing was literally just before I was recording. I was joking to Andy saying, I was watching one of the recent podcasts earlier and I noticed that I move my hands at the start loads and you do the same even though you're not saying anything. It's like a reaction that we both go, woohoo!
I love it.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And because we're sadists as well, we thought we would sit in tiny rooms about 100 miles from each other in the boiling hot and record this podcast for you.
It is savage. So,
it's savage hot.
You're welcome.
Aren't we martyrs to the cause?
Yes.
It's been an exciting week in gaming for me.
Yes, it has.
It's been my first week with the Ally X.
It has been, yes, and we are going to deep dive into that in a whole podcast. But give us a snippet.
Yeah.
How you find it?
Wow, I'm
pro,
having
one
an
con.
amazing. Pro is it plays games that I never imagined I could play handheld.
Yes,
and it plays them amazingly well.
It really does.
Yeah. The one con, Windows.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I totally get you. For me, I know we're going to go into this in more detail in the future, but it's on the line there. You know, it's a balancing act because it's almost only as so good because it is Windows. I know there's other
100%.
stuff. You know, I know there's Bazzite and other stuff as well, but you know, the fact that it's Windows is a benefit, but also it's downfall. And so it's that catch-22. Windows sucks. It really does, on a handheld at least. But it's also the reason why the Ally it wins because you can just play anything, you know. So
I'm having a slightly difficult time still controlling some of like the basic functions of Windows handheld. It's just it's not overly intuitive,
especially coming from a console.
Console and Mac OS as well. I do still use Windows for the occasional thing, like doing these, and when I'm streaming, I still use Windows.
Yes.
But not as in depth as I would with Mac OS or like with the simplicity of consoles. So it does have that disadvantage, and I'm still trying to get used to that, and I think that's all it is. I'm just trying to get used to that.
I can totally see from your point of view why that would be frustrating. Obviously, for me. I find it kind of totally cool because I use PCs all day long, you know, and I've been a PC gamer for 20 odd years.
How do you feel now that you've obviously taken ASUS's bag and being an endorsed promoter?
Yeah, and bought one with that money.
I bought one with that money. You just gave it straight back to them and bought one. And then in our Discord, shout out to our channel members, you beautiful people. I was going to swear at you then, and I decided not to.
You beautiful, lovely people.
You've turned into ASUS's technical support as well.
I know. I really have.
I've got to give a shout out to one of our members, Crumbly Pork.
Oh, dude. I feel so much for you.
Who, I'm just going to tell everyone what happened because it's kind of funny. He bought ROG Ally X pre-order day one. It was delayed, like a lot of people's were if they bought it from ASUS Direct. Big problem.
Yes.
It finally arrived. He had already shelled out like 250, 300 quid on a 4 terabyte Samsung SSD for it.
Yeah, it was a WD, but yeah.
Sorry, was it? Okay, yeah.
It's fine.
And it doesn't matter, yeah. And he decided he'd follow your tutorial in replacing the drive, you know, plug for our other channel. And it's a very good tutorial. I followed it, even though I didn't actually replace the drive. So, you know, there's that. And he followed it to the T, and then he couldn't get the battery connector back on after taking it apart.
Oh, no.
Whether it broke taking it off or it was already broken, or I don't know because I'm not there. But this guy had been waiting for this really excitedly, sharing his excitement with us in the the channel members Discord.
Yeah.
And then it was just this picture of it in pieces and this battery connector not fitting anymore.
I was trying to walk him through it and say, no, we can fix this, but no, I think the connector had broke. And the other sad thing, which is also kind of funny, the in-joke leading up to the release of the Ally X was that I was going to make a video on how to brick your Ally X. And unfortunately, he bricked it by filming the video. So there you go. And the other thing is, which is kind of interesting, is that he RMA'd his unit, and Asus turned around and said, we haven't got enough units, so we're going to refund you. So he had to buy it elsewhere.
So he got refunded and then went to a retailer and purchased it. And there's only one retailer in the UK that stocks it. And I think the same in the US, there's only one that stocks it there.
Oh, is there? All right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just Best Buy in America.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Best Buy, yeah.
And Canada. And in the UK, it's Curry's PC World.
Yep.
So he got his refund and then went in straight away and ordered a new one from the retailer. But Asus's stock is so short that not only were the pre-orders delayed, but they don't even have enough units to replace defaults.
Yeah, I think it's more popular than they anticipated.
I think that's the problem. 100% the problem. I think they prioritized the pre-order stock to the retailers.
Yes.
So not to upset that relationship. And there was way more pre-orders than they anticipated. I would like to I should speak to their PR department and actually ask them why
what's happened. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we need to do that. Totally.
Yeah. Maybe if I was a better games journalist, I'd do that, but I'm not. Let's make videos.
Yes.
We just talk about it, make videos and play them. What have you been playing this week anyway, Andy?
I've been playing with you on our Ally X's because, AJ's got the retail sample, which is sent from Asus, so they will ask for that back. Obviously,
Well, only if I reply to their emails.
That's true. That is true.
I could just keep it.
You could change your email and phone number, and then because they won't even know your address because they sent it to me and I diverted it to your address. So
yes, and you could just tell them, no, he's left the company.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he doesn't work. He doesn't work for
just left that day. I never saw the sample. I bought mine because that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Asus might be watching this. So
that didn't happen.
Yes.
My name is John.
John Spawnwave. Yeah. The thumbnail king.
Face. For those that are listening that couldn't see that, I was doing a Spawnwave face.
Yes.
So what have you been playing this week, Andy?
Yes, I've been playing Gears of War 5 with you, both on our Ally X's.
Yes.
And it runs phenomenally, and I've been having a great time.
Amazing.
So 3-player co-op, we've been playing with Christina, and we've just been smashing the game. We've actually put quite a few hours into it now.
I have a feeling that we're kind of close, like the 3/4 mark.
I don't know how long the game is, but I would say we've probably
idea.
been playing at least 10 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, that feels about right. Maybe more.
I can't
Maybe more.
I can't think.
So it's a good 3 hours each time we play.
At least, at least. And
longer at the weekends, but
yeah. But I've been having a blast playing it. Like I've really enjoyed playing it on the Ally headset into it, chatting away with you guys on Discord at the same time, not having to worry about the battery. But what happened to you? Last night?
I knew you were going to do that. I just want to say, firstly, that the Ally X is the ultimate Game Pass machine.
Yes.
We built it at that before. We thought it was going to be that.
Yes.
And it 100% is that.
Yes.
It is amazing for Game Pass games specifically. And that's kind of where it sits in my head. It's very expensive for that, though. So that's my balancing it. But what happened to me, you ask? Yes, good one. So I thought last night, typically I've been playing it powered.
Yes.
Just because I'm sat next to a plug anyway.
Yeah.
I'm literally in this room, just over there, playing it anyway, powered. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to play it just unpowered and I'll just put it down to 25 watts. And that's cool.
Yeah.
And we're about a couple of hours in and the little warning came up, plug in your PC before the battery runs out. I was like, oh yeah, plug it in. And I had anticipated this before, so I'd already got the plug turned on the wall, and the dock was right next. The cable was right next to me, so I just plugged the cable in. It's like, sweet, here I go. Off we carry on our campaign.
Yeah.
And then it just black screen, just switched off. I was like, oh, oh no, and the Discord call cut out. I was like, oh, and I text you going, oh, I think it's just crashed. I'll be back in a minute. And I'm trying to restart it. Nothing's happening. And I look over at the wall, and the plug I plugged in was for a radiator and not the power adapter
so in
at
30
all.
degrees weather, you're putting on the heating and not powering
I thought
up.
it got hotter in here.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's getting really hot in here.
It's just like a sauna like today. Like, whew.
I've just turned on this oil-powered heater instead of my ROG Ally X.
Oh,
And then I was confused as to why it wouldn't turn on. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
rookie
I'm an
move.
idiot. I shouldn't be allowed expensive things. Which is why they sent it to you and not me.
Yeah. And then I sneakily diverted it. But, you know,
Diverted it
I
to
already
me.
had my own, so I didn't need to.
Yeah. Are you getting on all right with you've done the drive swap and you've done some
Yeah.
trimming down the windows and stuff? No problems?
No, I love it. I've not had a single problem, really. I've not done the optimization video yet, just because we've been like looking at other things that we've been reviewing and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
right, I want to spend some time just using the device and enjoying it for a
Yeah.
few days before I then look, into doing this optimization guide. So even before optimizing it, it runs great. It's brilliant. Love it.
I'll say this, I've done 0.
Yeah.
I didn't even follow your basic starters guide. I watched it and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. I don't even set up like specific profiles for games or anything.
Oh, man,
it's like auto mode and maximum wattage.
But you don't
Let's
do
go.
back paddles or anything, do you? So
No, I don't know. Although I'm feeling like I should now. I'm getting more used to it.
yeah, it's
There's
great
some
when you
binding
do.
that doesn't. Yeah, like in Gears 5, some
Yeah.
of the binding's not very
Yeah,
nice.
it's
so
weird, isn't
change
it?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about.
No,
Although I
it's
could
not.
talk about that all night, to be honest.
and we will talk about it again in another podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I want to talk about Xbox, Andy.
Oh, yes.
And are Xbox going away from the console for good?
Away. I know.
Are they going software only?
Well, everything that they're doing right now is kind of like hinting towards that fact, isn't it? Like
It absolutely feels like it.
it really does.
And experiencing the Ally X, it's a nice segue, to be fair, because
Yeah.
experiencing Game Pass on a handheld PC, I can kind of see why I wouldn't want an Xbox anymore.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've got an actually what feels like a more capable and purposeful machine
Yes.
for the amazing games that are on Game Pass.
Yeah, and playing games at like higher FPS than on a console.
Yeah, it blows my mind. It's like, oh, right, so the actual official Xbox hardware is underperforming this game compared to what I can get on this, what is essentially a third-party thing to their games.
yeah. Mad,
That's
isn't it?
kind of mental.
Yeah,
Well,
that
I guess all you PC players have experienced this forever, but I'm coming like, you can shoot me down, but I'm wet behind the ears. I'm fresh to this PC space. I'm from the console world. And the idea that something that isn't the kind of
Official
OEM
thing. Yeah.
piece of hardware is better, that baffles me.
Yeah, it is mad.
But it's true.
Yeah, it is true. Like, initially face value, like you do get better performance in games, but there is a trick. At least on the Series X, I'm sure it'll be the same on the S. You can put it into 1080p mode and get higher frames. So,
that
with the
makes more
X,
sense,
if
yeah.
you're pushing it towards like for a 4K TV and it's trying to natively run those games, that's why we're seeing like 30 FPS and stuff. But you can drop it down to 1080p mode and get like reap the rewards. But obviously you'll lose image quality on a big screen, whereas the Ally 1080p on a little screen looks
VRR.
better. Yeah, VRR as well. Yeah, come on.
I've stopped looking at the FPS on the Ally X when we're playing Game Pass games.
Yeah.
But I've only stopped looking because when I was looking, when you get dips and peaks, I was just noticing nothing changing on the actual screen.
Amazing.
Like I would expect what I'm used to seeing.
VRR is amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing. Yeah, so that experience of Xbox being software only from the Ally X has really made me question the future of Xbox. And then when we talk and consider all the moves they're making in the gaming space.
Yeah. And over a long time, they've like been stacking up the list,
Yeah.
haven't they? Yeah.
I guess really it starts off with the primary focus. The number one for them just seems to be about Xbox, this subscription service.
Yeah, Game Pass is their forefront thing, like for sure. They just want everyone in on it, and it makes sense. They've just spent all these billions buying up every game developer on the planet, and they want to, reap that back, but also give access, play anywhere, so...
that Play Anywhere thing, and it's those words that really kind of like stick in my head when we're considering it, because that's their tagline for this, Play Anywhere.
Yes.
And when you hear Phil Spencer talking about playing different games on his ROG Ally or his Lenovo Legion, whatever his PC handheld is he's using. You're going, oh, even he's not using Xbox all the time.
Yes, yeah.
And he's the CEO of Xbox.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're like, all the focus seems to be on that. Obviously, we've got the huge amount of day one releases as well.
Yes.
And that's all about Xbox Game Pass. That's not about, oh, you've bought an Xbox so you get these games.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like it's bundled in with the console. Get a new Series X.
On Xbox. It's not only on Xbox anymore.
No, it's day one on Game Pass.
Exactly, yeah.
I think the really big thing that really kind of like cemented this at the start was Xbox Game Pass going to PC.
Yes. Yeah, that was like the first big move was like, wow. And that was always my reasoning for not having an Xbox for so many years, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I really loved the Xbox from Xbox, the original. I was going to say one, but there's a different one.
Yeah,
confusing. So the Xbox, the 360, the one, and then, like, it was that kind of point that I was like, meh. We bought the one, and we were just like, it just got used as a Blu-ray player. That was it. Because
I think everyone did that.
Yeah, because we had gaming PCs, and I always thought, you know what, I could just buy most games that are on Xbox on Steam or whatever it is, you know, and then Game Pass PC came along, and I was just like, there's no point me having an Xbox. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, there's no point.
No, totally know what you mean.
But, you know, so that's why I always went PC, PS5, and Nintendo, you know, that's why we did that. But obviously now we've got a Series X, and that's great because we can hop through. We've like got rid of our PCs and now got allies instead. So we can like play games on the Xbox, and then most games have got cross save now, pick it back up, or play cross-platform multiplayer like we've been doing with Gears 5. And, you know, Christina could be on the Xbox and we can be on PC. So like the PC Game Pass push has been great. You know, and that was the big first move, I feel, of them kind of stepping away from Xbox hardware. So
100%.
Yeah.
And it, on face value, it seemed like a weird move to allow PC players to play Xbox games.
Yeah.
Because apart from games that got like multi-platform releases, the exclusives were always kind of walled off. They were walled gardens. They had these certain games we could only play on PlayStation. Certain games definitely could only play on Nintendo. Xbox was the same, and then you had kind of more. The PC space was way more opened.
Yes,
but if you wanted to experience certain IPs, you had to have that console, and that was the reason to get that console.
Yeah, exactly.
I think back. I always hark back to it, and I'm going to stamp the bingo card. But I think back to Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1.
Wasn't expecting that one.
But like, if you wanted to play that game, you had to buy that console.
Yeah, just like Fable. I remember when Fable came out.
Great one, yeah.
And,
Halo.
Halo, yeah, of course. But, you know, no one likes Halo. Sorry, Jane.
Shots fired. Shots fired at the channel members straight away. There's one of the channel members, Jane, is a massive Halo fan. Is going to hate Andy for that. Yeah. But there were the reasons, and they were... I would probably say they were the reasons why those consoles were successful as well, in a big part. Obviously, the kind of attraction to the branding or whatever else you liked about the console, but it's based off the games that you could play on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or the games that were coming.
Yes.
Tomb Raider or Forza, Gran Turismo. There were reasons to get these consoles
War,
over the other one.
Like, you know, stuff
Gears
like that.
of War, good shout. We're playing it. I should think about it. So Microsoft opening that door to the PC players, firstly, it's an amazing thing.
Yes.
Because I now in a place where I really just want everything to be cross-platform.
Me too,
I want this whole kind of tribal thing to disappear because it annoys me.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. But it's historically an odd thing for them to do. And it was the first step on this road of them not focusing on their console being important anymore.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Just allowing people to play their IPs on PC And I'm sure there's many more people that have the same attitude as you, which is, well, I don't need to get an Xbox because I can just play it on my PC.
Yep.
And now I don't need to get an Xbox because I can just play it on my MSI, Asus ROG Ally, fill in the gap. My handheld Windows PC. This, it just opens it up. Mm-hmm. And now that was, well, Game Pass PC was a few years back now, wasn't it? It's been around for a fair while.
It's been around for quite a long time now, yeah.
We then started to see kind of, I'm going to say it, weird additions to the kind of Game Pass landscape.
Yes.
And I can't figure out if it's because they decided that no, we don't care about the consoles, or if it's a reaction to the consoles not selling very well.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So we need to get like market share somewhere.
I think it's that. I think because they've always been on the back foot, and especially in certain countries like Japan and stuff where they're just notoriously like bad seller. Yeah. I think they just went, you know what? How else can we get people on board? And I think that mindset has probably led to the idea of what Game Pass has now become. Ultimately, and now why we get all these day one releases and stuff just to entice people in on all these different platforms. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, actually on the underperforming thing, I think that is it feels like that's the catalyst for this move. It's not necessarily like a grand plan that they've had the whole time.
Yes.
It's more, well, the Series X and S generation is still, I think it's 17% lower in sales than both the 360 and the One generation. It's like it's bad, way underperforming.
Yes.
And as a market share compared to PlayStation and Nintendo is absolutely nowhere. Not just Japan in particular, which is a huge gaming market. Xbox just doesn't exist in the landscape.
Yes.
But when you look at America and you look at Europe and the Middle East, those markets which are huge, it still lags behind in all of those, even though it's better than it is in Japan.
Yep.
So I think it's a reaction to it just being terrible, and there's loads of reasons why it's terrible. We've talked about it before. This reaction is, let's point at Game Pass, and then we start to see these slightly weird additions.
Yeah.
And the first one was you can play Game Pass on your Samsung smart TVs. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Just like, cool. Yeah, it's like baked
There's a Game Pass app built in, and you can connect your Xbox controller, or I guess any controller that will connect to your TV.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And away you go. You're playing Xbox cloud games, so you're streaming games for TV, basically.
Games, yeah. And that's the thing as well, isn't it? That's like cloud gaming in its own right being a thing, like, is another one on the list, as well as the inclusion of Game Pass on PC, like the ability to even cloud stream, especially when you have other like cloud sites go down and stuff, ones that weren't doing well. I mean, even Stadia tried and failed, and that's Google, so it's not like some
they were pushing that hard as well. Stadia was pushed really hard. They were giving away like YouTube premium memberships if you bought Stadia and subscribed to that. They tried really hard with that. And you've got other cloud based things, haven't you? You've got
GeForce
Nvidia
Now.
Do one, don't you?
Nvidia GeForce Now.
So you got GeForce Now. PlayStation kind of have a little bit. They did PlayStation Now for a long time, which was their cloud only thing. And now that's kind of bundled into the PlayStation Premium, the ultimate level. You can stream games on that. So it's not exclusive to Xbox, but what is exclusive to Xbox is them opening that up to hardware that isn't theirs.
Yeah, being implemented into a TV, like off the get-go and stuff
Weird
like
move.
That.
Weird move.
Yeah.
Because obviously now their thinking is, well, just get them into an Xbox a Game Pass subscription.
Yep.
One subscriber, that's better than no subscriber. But what that does to someone, let's just say, someone who wants to play casually, maybe they already own a PlayStation, and they're like, oh, I actually do fancy playing Forza Motorsport.
Or
I've got a good internet connection.
Yeah.
I can just stream it. Exactly. I don't need to buy the Xbox anymore. So definitely, to me, that is, yes, it will get them subscribed, but it ensures they definitely won't buy an Xbox.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Why would they?
Yeah, but I think I don't know what the percentage, I don't want to say 50-50, because there's going to be loads of people that just subscribe and stream. But I know me, like I for one would probably sign up, play it and go, actually, there's a load of games on here that I'm enjoying via this thing,
fair.
and I want to play them natively without the problem of internet, like, or whatever it might be. Because I like playing stuff natively, that would probably entice me to then go out and buy an Xbox. I know I might be a small percent; it might be like 10% of people, maybe less, but. I still think that is a factor. It's like a try before you buy thing. It's like go back to the early 2000s where you would totally legally download albums, right? Just to see if they're crap or not. And if it was decent, if it was good, I wouldn't just keep these LimeWired CDs, right? I would delete them and go out and buy the disc. If it sucked, I wouldn't buy it.
I was like you with that, and I would be like you with this as well. But we are definitely in the minority with that.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
The line wiring music's a great example of the justification was like, well, this is kind of cheap or free marketing. You get it in your hands, you try it before you buy it.
Yeah.
But the reality was most people just carried on trying it and never bought it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And I think in the majority, I think the same will be true of this. But you are right. You can't discount that it does open people up to the Xbox ecosystem that wouldn't have experienced it before.
Yeah, totally.
There is talk that there'll be a free Game Pass tier.
Yes.
There'll be ad-based, which I think kind of fits in with this a little bit, this idea of try before you buy.
And everyone would know that if they're subscribed to 128KB News channel, because we discussed it in there.
Yes, good plug. Yes. So the idea that you don't have to pay for the cloud-based version of Game Pass, or just the cloud part of Game Pass, but have to watch adverts either before you play or at given intervals.
Yeah, see,
it's still not clear on how they've implemented it.
It's not clear, but we were coming up in the news video that like there could be some cool ideas there, like if it was just ads for other games, like other games on the platform or other Xboxy stuff. Or even
whilst Forza's loading, why not play Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, or even to the point where it would be a playable, like cloud streamed, advert. Like try out this game. We think you might like it based on AI rubbish, like, and then you play it for 10 seconds.
AI rubbish.
Yeah, and if you've got, I don't know, if you've got ad blocker on, it just goes, it goes back to the game. But I don't know.
Ad blocker on your TV.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, whether they do that or not is a big one. I mean, in line with this and the other thing I was going to say, Fire TV sticks, first of all. Let's go there. And then we'll talk about the new Game Pass tier that probably is coming.
Yes. Yeah.
So after the Samsung TVs, we now have the Fire Stick Game Pass. It's not clear what subscription level you'd actually need to play that.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're just cloud streaming. But does that mean you need the ultimate tier?
I imagine you can probably do it with Core, but then you're just limited to the very small amount of games that are on Core that come with it.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas if you bought Ultimate, then you've got access to hundreds,
Yeah. Again, a weird move. Firstly, it's Amazon that they're partnering with in this.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? Yeah.
So they partnered with Samsung and Amazon. So it's two kind of rival technology companies, first of all.
Yeah.
So a weird move.
And Amazon has Amazon Gaming as well. It's got its own gaming side of it. Yeah. So
exactly that. Weird. It's very weird. I mean, I'm glad to see these companies working together, but... and I guess from Xbox's point of view, they get access to the full distribution network that is Amazon, which is huge.
Yeah, true.
I imagine there's millions.
Yeah. More people are just going to go and buy an Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah. They were doing this kind of cool bundle. I think it was like $75 or something with you get the Amazon Fire Stick, the new one, and a coloured Xbox controller of your choice.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. If selling controllers is important to them, then they've done that.
Yeah. I reckon, they release so many different controllers every month, different colorways and stuff. They probably make quite a bit on controller sales where people just collecting them or like a design and buy it.
Probably more than consoles right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's probably cheaper for them to build the controller and get a bigger return on that than it is to make a system, which is just a PC,
That actually takes it to a really good point, because historically, and I'm sure it's still true, I've not dug into the exact numbers on Series X and S, but historically every game console is sold at a loss.
Yes. Yeah.
Components to retail price, because there's these weird ceilings that exist.
Yeah.
Like a imaginary £500 ceiling that now exists in console gaming. they sell them at a loss in order to get you in to buy their software, which obviously they make more money on, and their accessories.
Unless you're Sony and then you just release like £10,000 accessories.
Buy the VR2 accessory that's more expensive than your console.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So I guess there's an argument that you could make a more profitable business for Xbox without having the console at all.
Yeah, maybe
that's part of their thinking.
Well, I don't think that they're going to cancel the Xbox because they've already said that they're already working on 2 new bits of hardware, one that's going to be announced by the end of this year, and then they've already said that they're working on the next generation as well. So that's there, and they said there's a huge leap in performance or whatever with this next gen model. So I think they're still going to be.
And they also said about backwards compatibility. They were actually outlining that it's really important to them.
Yes, because after the leaks of that cylindrical X digital only, which now we know is just a normal X that's digital only, people were worried that now backwards compatibility is no longer a thing, and they came forth and said no, we're still very invested in it. So. Yeah, I feel like it's just more on a back foot. Do you know what I mean? It's there for the diehards, the people that really want it, but that's, again, probably like 10 to 20% of their market, and they're trying to push 80% of Game Pass to everybody else. Like they know the hardcore Xbox people are going to have Game Pass, because why wouldn't you? If you've got an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, what's the point? Like,
Here's the thing. I've got an Xbox here, and obviously, I've got this long-term loan of the ROG Ally X from Asus. I say long-term because they haven't given me a date to take it back, and I'm not answering my phone. So the long-term loan, permanent loan, I'm keeping it. And I play Xbox games pretty much every day. Let's be fair, and I don't own a single Xbox game, not physically.
Yeah.
I just don't own any.
I've got a bunch of physicals for the Series X only because it was cheaper for me to buy the physical than the digital.
Right.
And when I got the X, I said I'm going all digital because I just want ease of use, But then when I realized, some games are cheaper physically, which makes 0 sense, I was like, I'm going to save some money and get it physically, even though it's a pain in the ass to use the disc, blah, blah, blah. But, so I totally get your standpoint, and I would be like digital only, to be fair,
Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. And talking to digital only, there's rumours that there's going to be a cloud only tier to Game Pass.
Yeah, it would make
sense.
Which
sews up really nicely the Samsung TVs and the Fire Stick TVs. And obviously they're going to do more of these like collaborations with third-party hardware manufacturers, different smart TV brands.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe... Do you think they would do it with Apple? With the Apple TV?
I'd say it's probably...
That's an extensive piece of hardware.
It is. I'd say it's probably more
likely...
But
then it's Microsoft and Apple working together.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I think it would be more likely we'd see Google team up with them, because they've already tried and failed with the streaming thing. If they get behind Xbox, or at least like help in some way, maybe that could be a good partnership. Google do the little thing, whatever they do that plugs in your telly. I can't remember what it's called, a little hubby nesty thing.
Here's a weird one, just a weird mind fart for you.
Oh, yeah.
If you go onto YouTube now, and you scroll down the homepage without opening a video long enough, it will show you what they call shelves. So you've got different shelves of like video type shorts, and you've got different like videos, sometimes posts in a line. If you're on desktop, this is. You scroll down long enough, it will show you games that you can play in your browser. Inside YouTube. And like properly licensed games, they're basically like mobile games like Cut the Rope and all that. Rubbish. Let's be honest, rubbish. 8-Ball Pool.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a logical leap, is it?
To embed Game Pass into YouTube. As a shelf,
cloud streaming in it, and it's a shelf, and then it opens like a...
Yeah, it could be.
I just, you heard it here first. If that happens, I want 5% of everything that it generates, because it was my idea.
I was here, I want 2%.
Yeah, I'll split it with you 70-30, straight down the middle.
I love it.
There's loads of other stuff that they've done as well that hints at this kind of Game Pass only future. You reviewed it recently on the main channel, the GameSet X4 Aileron.
Yes.
That's how you say it, which is like a mobile controller that's licensed by Xbox for streaming onto your phone, streaming Game Pass onto your phone.
Yeah.
So more than a remote play device, it
does both. Yeah, remote plays and turns your phone into a portable Xbox because of their Play Anywhere thing. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really cool controller. I really like it. It's very cool.
So I guess after going through the kind of rap sheet of what they are doing and the problems, I guess the actual thing to ask is not, are they doing this? Because it doesn't seem like it's black and white. It's probably, like you said, a little bit of console still for the diehards and then mainly Game Pass. I guess the actual important thing to ask is that good or bad? Is that a problem?
I don't.
It's ultimately better for us as gamers.
I was going to say,
exists.
I think this is a better push. And if it does well, and if it gets big enough, people might be more ready for Xbox consoles again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It might cause a resurgence if they really do become this big sort of thing. Then we might see better systems. We might see top of the range handhelds from them and stuff or whatever.
Almost certainly.
So. I still think that's going to happen regardless, but what I mean is in the long term, I think it's better for gamers. I love this Play Anywhere thing. I love that I can sit on my Ally X and be playing with someone on their Xbox, this whole cross-platform, cross-save, Play Anywhere on anything, but, here's our own if you want. I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like gaming has been missing, and I feel like Xbox are at the forefront of this movement. I've hated the divide between PC and consoles, and this bridges that perfectly. It's been so frustrating when I'd have mates and they're like, "Oh, you're going to play this new game?" "Yeah, but I'm on PC." "Oh, well, tough titties. I can't play with you." You know? So it's been really frustrating. Whereas now, that line's being blurred, and it shouldn't matter what you play on. It should be about the games, and that's what I'm liking. So I feel personally that this is a good thing. But who knows? I might be wrong.
Do you imagine PlayStation stepping into this space at all?
Well, they've already kind of dabbled their toes in it by doing PlayStation PC. I never in a million years thought that they would, put any PlayStation PC games on, and if they did, it would be only available to play with the DualSense controller PC at £350, because that's something they would do, because they are really tight-fisted,
cutthroat.
They are cutthroat. So it blew my mind when I saw PlayStation PC, and if we see that growing, which it will, because all the PC fanboys are going to be like, "Oh, sweet, PlayStation games, buy them." We've seen massive success with Helldivers 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Spider-Man, God of War. There's all these games that are on PC now. So I feel like they're just way behind Xbox. And you've got to remember, Sony's a Japanese Asian company.
Yeah.
Xbox is a Western company, and I feel like they're ready to push the boat out a bit more, and they're losing. If you look at them on paper,
they've got nothing to lose.
They've got nothing to lose.
Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're like, come on, let's do something really radical to try and change the gaming landscape, which I think change is good. It's always good, So I feel like this might push Sony to do something, even if it's just put more games on PC with more cross-platform, capabilities. Then that's cool, But
I've got one great idea that PlayStation can do to really kind of up the ante for all gamers.
Yeah.
Because I'm platform agnostic. I'll play on PlayStation. I love the PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's where I come from. One thing they could do for the PlayStation 5 is release some damn games. How about that? Release at least one more game.
Yeah.
Because I think I've got this right. I've got a list somewhere. I'm keeping a tally of all the PlayStation games that are PS5 exclusive.
Yeah.
Not like it's come out on PlayStation and it's available PS4 and PS5. Just on PS5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And one of them is the controller demo.
That's pretty bad.
There's another one called Quantum Error that I've never even heard of that I don't think anyone bought. No. 9.
Yeah,
one of them's not even out yet. September.
Yeah.
Astrobot.
It's bad.
So they could just release some damn games and then I would be happy. And then they can consider whether they allow other people to play it on other platforms.
Yeah.
Because everyone's celebrating Ghost of Tsushima being on the PC now.
Yeah.
Great. And it looks beautiful. Hats off to them.
I still need to needs to buy that.
Looks amazing. What the gameplay footage I've seen from some people with some real like high-end gaming rigs really cranking the best out of this game. It looks insane.
Yep.
It's a PS4 game.
I know, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 4 years old.
It's 4 years old. 4 years old, and we're celebrating it being released on PC.
Yeah.
But like you said, Sony and PlayStation, they don't need to do anything. They're already winning. They've already got massive market share. Like Nintendo,
Yeah.
they can actually go a bit more like Nintendo actually and kind of wall themselves off and just do their own thing. Like how Nintendo don't really take part in the console war or trying to compete on hardware.
They just do their own thing.
Just
they don't care. Yeah.
We just make cool games.
Yeah.
And people like our games. That's what we do over here. What they do, it's up to them.
Yep.
Oh, we made a handheld. Oh, everyone's copying us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
going to carry on doing our own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
PlayStation can go more like that now. And whether that's alienating or not, that depends how much you love them.
Yeah.
How expensive it gets, it's going to get more expensive. Xbox have to do something different because they're losing.
Yeah.
And like you, I think it's just better for us gamers in general. I've fully loved my time of Game Pass. That's been all of my interaction with Xbox, apart from buying 2 games I wish I hadn't bought digitally.
Yeah, Flashback 2.
Yeah, Flashback 2 was one of them. Can you remember the other one? RoboCop, which is the most overhyped, worst game I've ever played.
I still want to play it.
If you like slow games where you're just a bullet sponge, you'll love it.
I might like it.
With really bad dialogue. It's not even got the comedy of RoboCop, you know? It's lost all its tongue in cheek. Anyway, maybe some people enjoyed it. Maybe I'm just wrong. But I'd like to know. Let me know in the comments. And actually, whilst you're down there letting us know in the comments, let us know what you think about Xbox and their moves going software only, or their focus on Game Pass. Do we think we're right, first of all? And do you think it's a good thing if we are, or are we totally wrong? Or is it a really stupid thing that they're doing and we should only ever have physical games for the rest of time?
Oh, and
shots fired.
Yeah. Well, we were right about Google Stadia, so hopefully we're right here.
That was a long time ago. We called it, and a lot of people hated us for it then.
People went
that it was
nuts.
Rubbish. It was going to fail.
We said this sucks. We said this is going to fail hard. It will be shut down in a couple of years, and everyone went, "Oh my god, no, it's not! It's amazing." That's how they spoke in the comment section. Like, you know, there's little
it was
audio
exactly like that.
Yeah, and lo and behold, it all shut down.
It sucked and it got shut down a couple of years later. Do let us know in the comments down below what you think. And once you're down there digging around, do like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're in podcast land, rate the show because that really does help. And we do love you for rating us.
Yep.
Do you know we were number 2 in the Philippines the other day?
Oh, really?
Yeah, not taking a number 2. We were actually number 2 in the video games charts.
That's amazing. I love that.
Behind IGN, but whatever.
They were just trying to find us.
Anyway.
Yeah, they were just trying to find us.
Yes.
I clicked on that one.
They mistyped 128 as IGN.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
Exactly.
I guess that leaves nothing else but to say thank you for listening. Make sure that you watch some more content to us. It'll be smashed between our faces. And channel memberships. Yes, thank you, Andy. Channel memberships is open and you get access to some of these videos early and you get to join the wonderful and beautiful people in our private members Discord.
Yes.
We love you all. Thank you for being there.
Thank you very much.
Anything else you want to say?
I'm really sweaty. I'd like everyone to know that. I think this t-shirt is now like being painted on me. So if someone wants to help peel it off me, that would be really nice.
Oh, that's an offer. Yeah. That's the highest tier of memberships.
Yeah, that's the top tier, that one.
Take Andy's t-shirt off.
The sweaty
You'll actually get people signing up for that as well.
I don't know.
Me.
I'm just going to have a knock on the door in a minute. Like, hi.
It's just me. Hi, it's me. Right, that's it. Until the next time.
Bye.
Bye.